This is day 4 of the Litha Witchathon, and I wanted to give a quick update. I finished um, Shield of Winter yesterday morning, um, and I didn't start the next book yet. I'm about to start it now. Summer of Salt. Uh, I didn't start right away because yesterday was Father's Day, and I knew most of my day would be doing stuff for that. But I got kind of triggered. My mom decided to watch while my dad was out in the morning, when they see us. And if you don't know, that is a Netflix miniseries about the Central Park Five, and that story is one I grew up with. Um, that situation, I should say, is one I grew up with here in New York City as a black woman. As a black and Hispanic woman, it was a big deal. It was a big reason for why, you know, we were always warned not to go into the parks. Um, it affected not just those 5 kids and their families, but the entire city. And then this was as a kid. And then finding out basically when I was graduating high school that they didn't do it. That it was confirmed that they didn't do it, and they've been in jail, served their sentences, and dealt with the consequences. It was just mind blowing. And then they sued the city, and the settlement with the city only ended in 2014. 2016 with the state, suing the state. And yeah, literally this situation has been my entire life, because the incidents occurred in 1986. I was 2 years old. It went to trial in 1990, and yeah, this Netflix series just came out this month or last month. So anyway, it was a lot. Didn't plan on watching it, or maybe later. I can't. Stuff like that is triggering for me, which is why I'm not saying like what happened. You can definitely Google Central Park 5 and get the details if you have no clue. But my mom decided to watch it on Father's Day. And with certain types of shows or movies, the volume is too low on the TV, so she has it blasting. My bedroom door happens to be the one that connects to the living room directly, so I had to hear it. It started raining, so I couldn't escape, and I was annoyed and triggered. And I know that Summer of Salt has some, I think, similar triggers in it, and it is easier for me to deal with in book form, these kind of things, oddly enough, than having so many more of my senses engaged than just reading. But just the thought of trying to read kind of made me want to throw up. So I didn't, and I put it off. I could have last night before going to bed, but we watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and then Avengers Endgame. So that was my first time seeing all three. And I cried like a baby through Endgame, of course. And that was just the watching of the movies, being with my family, and 3 of us out of the 4 who were here, all being Marvel fans. Excuse me, I don't know what that's about. So talking about that and whatnot, um, the repercussions for the next stage. Um, it was fun, and then really crying or crying more, but letting it all out kind of helped. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sleep. So I haven't started Summer of Salt yet. I will. Um, I'm not 100% sure what this book is about, but I have heard about it through watching booktube videos. Um, and I've heard good things. This book will fulfill the prompts 6, which is read a book that takes place during summer vacation, and prompt 7, which is read the group book. And I want to read it second because I don't want to miss out on the group book. So yeah, that is my update for now. I didn't want to update at night because I hate the lighting. And yeah. Oh wait. So today was going to be my day to do the prompt that I'm supposed to read by a body of water. I checked yesterday. I should have checked before. New York City pools are not open until the 27th, so that's out altogether. Um, and I thought about going to the beach today, but I'm not prepared. Guys, the beach is a trek to get to, and I can't take the car. I'm not paying for parking. Ugh. And I want to be out there long enough to have a decent amount of reading time. So I would need food to bring food with me, and I don't have anything prepared. I don't know if the beach is going to happen this week because it's supposed to rain the rest of this week, the rest of Witchathon. Oh no. Oh, I'm annoyed. I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah. That's it. I'm going to start Summer of Salt now. Bye. Hi guys, it's Tuesday the 18th, so day 5, and I finished reading Summer of Salt. I really like this, so I'm happy. I read the group book for this Litha Witchathon, but also that I enjoyed it immensely. Unlike the last the Star Witchathon group book, I didn't hate it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as previous group books. So, Rhiannon, thank you. Liked it. It wasn't as dark as I thought it might be with the trigger warning, and but it was at least the one trigger warning that I definitely remembered was in it, but it wasn't really until the end. It was somewhat kind of obvious, but not really, but it is important to the plot, so I don't want to really give it away. I guess in my vlog I could be a little spoilery. And trigger warnings are supposed to help people kind of avoid certain things. So trigger warning for rape, it's not on screen, and it's not even, the word isn't even mentioned except for once and that's understandable. But I really enjoyed this. If you've watched my witchy history nonfiction books video, which came out a couple of weeks ago, if not, you can watch it here. I talked about in the beginning of that Nora Roberts books. She does books very similar in vein to this, but they're adults. While this is YA, which is fine. So this really reminded me in particular of the Jewels of the Sun trilogy. So 4 out of 5 stars. I started to pick up Archangel's Heart, and I got a couple of pages in this morning and was like, well, huh? This is not what I thought it was going to be. And as you saw, and I was like, wait. I like peeked in halfway, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. Bells were going off. So as you saw, I went online to check it out on my phone, and I was reading the wrong book. the not the next book in the series that I'm up to. So I'm actually up to Archangel's Enigma, and luckily my local library had it, so I was able to just walk over just now and grab it. The confusion came because I haven't read this series in a while either. Same author as Shield of Winter. Now Nalini Singh. The Guild Hunter novels are a whole different series, and up until the book just before this one, they were following Elena, who is a guild hunter, and Raphael, her archangel lover, who is in charge of North America. Like, that's his area to control and take care of. And then in the last book we had an offshoot to another guild hunter, same series but more of a companion novel. And then I had picked this book up before, but I didn't realize that we were not going to follow Raphael and Elena anymore, so it was jarring. And so I put it down because I was like, oh, I don't know, like, I mean, I do like the other members of the cadre, but like, I definitely wasn't expecting it to start out with this guy, who we have barely seen in the other books. So I put it down, and I must have like marked it as read on Goodreads or something, because in my brain, no, I didn't. But when I went to choose the next book, as you saw, I have lists set up on my library account, and they're not in order for the series. They're not in series order or book release order. They're just in whatever order the library decided. So I picked up this, and I should have gotten this. So I'm only starting Archangel's Enigma, and I'll give you a synopsis of the series later because I haven't sat down to really think about it. So that is all for now. Okay, I'm back. Still Tuesday. I just wanted to give you guys a look at Nalini Singh's Guild Hunter series and like explain what it is. So basically it's another it's another paranormal romance. It does seem a little bit futuristic, but not too much. Not to give any more spoilers. So basically this is a world where angels and vampires exist along with humans. The series starts off with Angel's blood, I believe, and the main characters are Elena, who is a guild hunter, and Raphael, who is an archangel. Basically, the world expands from there. Archangels are the top of the hierarchy. They are the top of the food pyramid, the highest predator. rulers of the world basically, and everyone follows them because nothing is stronger or more powerful. There are what they call a cadre of 10 archangels that kind of rule the world. They've split it up into their own territories, and yeah, but those territories basically mimic what the world is today. Like in Angel's Blood, Raphael is in charge of New York, and I think like the Northeast in the section of the United States. Archangels basically are superpowered angels. No one ever knows who's going to become an archangel until they grow in so much power. They kind of evolve into an archangel. Some quicker than others is all I can say about that. Now, vampires are, this is where things are a little even different than the norm. Vampires are created by archangels, and it's some sort of biological alchemical process, and people, regular human beings, kind of sign up to become vampires, and then they are like indentured servants to the angels and archangels for a long ass time, until they are released, or unless they are killed or die somehow before that point. But this is where the guild hunters come in. A lot of people get buyer's remorse, or they think they can fool the angels and the archangels because there are a lot less of them, including angels, than there are vampires or human beings. So it's like, oh, I'm just a cog in the wheel. Maybe I can slip through the cracks, run away, or whatever. And the angels hire what are called guild hunters because, they can't be spending their time running after, all of the vampires who have buyer's remorse or who think they can get away with fooling angels. Not everyone can easily become a vampire. Not everybody wants to be a vampire. There are definitely a faction of human beings that are like, ew, vampires. But and the same with the angels, though they can't really do anything about them because they're more powerful. So the guild hunters are vampire hunters, basically, and they kind of function like those guys who go after people who try to jump bail, or that kind of thing. Bail, I don't remember what they're called off the top of my head right now, but like those guys. The police don't have time to like follow people across the country when they have not paid for their bail, or they don't come in, show up when they have a warrant against them. So these people are hired to do that work while the police stay in their jurisdiction. Same thing for the guild hunters. So Elena, the guild hunter, will a little extra something special to her. She's not your normal average general human being. Not sure why. Well, I am, but in the first book, you're not sure why. And we go on from there. The only other thing I will say is, now I mentioned earlier how I was confused because I started this book basically where I'm at now, and I didn't realize we would be not dealing with Elena and Raphael, but with one of his 7. So this is somewhat unique to Raphael. Obviously, every leader has their favorites, those people who are really loyal to them, and are also really powerful, who they have close, who they can trust. And for Raphael, that is his 7, and he has 7 men, mix of vampires and angels, who are the closest to him. And We are dealing with, in this particular book, Nazir, who is a special kind of vampire. He is a vampire, but apparently he was experimented on um, either as a child, like a really baby child, or before he was given birth to. I haven't read far enough to figure that out yet. But he's very animalistic, so he drinks blood like a vampire, but he also eats meat like a person. So uh, there's that, and he kind of is very cat-like in many of his mannerisms. Um, so partially how he was raised, he was kind of very much treated like a dumb animal. So he didn't know how to talk and a lot of other things he when Raphael found him as a kid, but also like he thinks of the bad guys really as bad meat, like a wild animal would. You don't want to eat that, even if you're a predator, because they're bad meat. It's there's nothing good about them. So stuff like that. And Andromeda, who is his love interest in this book, is an angel from enemy territory, though he doesn't know that yet. And obviously she's not that bad. But yeah. That's my synopsis of the Guild Hunter novels. And it's already going better this time because I know I'm going into this book like this is about Nasir and Andromeda, not Elena and Raphael. Um, and I think so. Like the next book, which I accidentally picked up, Archangel's Heart. That one is about Helena and Raphael. That's why I was confused when I started reading it this morning. Like I thought this was different, but so I wasn't paying attention to Nalini Singh's the emails that she sends out, and I'm already committed to this series, so I didn't look up what the books are about. I've just been like, okay, I want to get back into it, so pick up the next one, and here we are. So, back to reading. Hey, so I'm still reading Archangel's Enigma. I'm just having like moments where I get a little bit bored with it, so I find something else to do. Otherwise, I would have been finished already. But I'm roughly halfway through, and I'm determined to finish this tonight. But I wanted to talk really quickly about Nazir and Andromeda. They're really cute, and I like their relationship in this book better than I liked Vasek and Ivy Jane in Shield of Winter. It's a completely different series. It was just their relationship was very predictable and been there, done that, boring. No, maybe not boring, but it wasn't there. There wasn't really anything super interesting going on there. Um, but Nasir is very playful, and he's bringing that out in Andromeda. I'm amused by my reaction to his nickname for her, which is Andy, and just because it came out of nowhere, and now like other angels are calling her Nasir's Andy, and me every time it pops up, I'm like, wait, but who's Andy? I keep thinking it's another character, and then I realize I'm like, oh wait, A and D are the first three letters of her name, Andromeda. Duh. But yeah, so this is cute, and I'm liking the background, the politics, and all of that. Seeing how the world's changing after Lee Wan and Lee Wan. Probably mispronouncing that. And Crescent, after the great catastrophes and changes that they perpetrated in the last two books, And yeah, I'll talk more about this in the next video, but I just wanted to say how cute I like this love story, how it's going. It's amusing and cute. That's all. Bye bye. Is Thursday the 19th. I gave you guys like a really, really short update last night. It was after midnight though, so that counts. I recently finished Archangel's Enigma and I loved it. I'm happy like that I had stopped when I first picked this up years ago and paused because I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting, like I said, this to be not Raphael and Elena focused. Um, but I'm glad I did that because I was really confused and kind of upset about it. And this time I went in knowing better, and I love Nasir. He is so fun and very natural, and the kind of like the type of person that's very honest with themselves about who they are and not willing to change really for others, only for their own betterment. And still like enjoying life and getting a kick out of it, even though things are not always great. Um, so I love Nasir and his influence on Andromeda, and I like that Andromeda, is just more herself, not really changing just because she fell in love with Nasir. But and I loved what's going on in the world with the archangels. I need to know what's gonna happen with Ilium, and how everything is affecting Raphael, how he's evolving. It seems like that's what it is. Now we have two ancients that are awake, and that's like a tiny spoiler, but you won't know anything really. How is that going to change things? Because that now means there are 11, 12. I thought I was counting 12 archangels, uh, but I realized it's 11 because it was very obviously stated here. So yeah, that is done, which means the next book I'm gonna read is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Now that I'm thinking about it directly, I think this book, as well as the Shades of Magic series, which I finished a month ago, is my most anticipated read of 2019, and I'm finally getting to it. This was on uh, my, I think, Zodiacathon TBR, and I did not get to it, and I had to return it to the library even after. So finally reading this. So this book is an adult fantasy by V.E. Schwab. It's the first book in a duology as far as I know. This is to fill the prompt about the battle between dark and light, or good versus evil. And this book is about two college friends, Victor and Eli, who somehow come to the conclusion that they want to, they start experimenting with near-death experiences, and I think there was a recent movie out that was similar to this, and just the idea of cheating death, and then they come to this hypothesis or this theory that during the course of their experiments, that if they get closer and closer to death and cheating it, they somehow might gain superpowers. And I think they do, but then there's a falling out. One of them winds up going to jail, and then there's a whole their friendship is broken. Whether it was ever really real in the first place, we will never know, or I don't know yet, I should say. So then there's a type of trying to get back at each other, I think, with their superpowers. I know also that part of this book takes place in present day and part of it takes place in the past when they were in college together. So I am so looking forward to this. Like, it sounds super dark and delicious. So, yeah, my plan is to like, well, right now my plan is to start reading this while I eat my lunch. Then I have a book that I need to mail out. Someone purchased for me on eBay, so I need to go put that in the mail. And today and tomorrow I am picking up my friend's child from after school and minding them for a couple of hours. So they are in Brooklyn, I'm in the Bronx. So I have 4 long ass train rides, if nothing else, over the course of the next 2 days. 2 hours each way, basically, if not more, which is really possible, especially coming back in the evening. And I will be devouring this book in that time. I may not get to my feel-good read, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, but I'm okay. That was a reread. And honestly, the first 3 books all made me feel good. So they can count for that challenge, and I'll be good to go. For reading by the water, sorry about that. For reading by the water, I'm going to count the river, the Bronx River from earlier this week. If I'm able to do something or go somewhere tomorrow and it's not raining, then I'll throw that in. But otherwise, finishing this to me will be completing all of my challenges. So I'm so excited to read this. Okay, bye guys. It is the summer solstice. The longest day of the year has just ended. Um, or not just, but it has ended. And thus, at midnight ends the Litha Witchathon. Um, Today's the last day. I just wanted to pop in and say stuff about Vicious really quick. I will be doing a wrap-up video and like giving my usual thoughts on the books that I read. But yeah, so I finished Vicious with enough time that I was able to start Harry Potter. I'm actually about halfway through this. It's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is a reread. This was to fulfill my a feel-good challenge, and I'm I said, I think earlier somewhere in this vlog, that I'm okay with not getting to that book because I feel like the first 3 were feel-good reads, particularly the 2 series by Nalini Singh. Vicious though, that's why I'm here. I wanted to, because I don't think I got any footage of me actually reading Vicious. Or maybe I did, I don't know. I'm disappointed. Maybe I was too hyped for this. That is a possibility. I have been wanting to read this book the most by V.E. Schwab or Victoria Schwab. And since December, have been reading tons of her books, and I was like, this is gonna be the one I like the most. I was wrong. I don't dislike this. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. But really, that's more like a 3.5. And honestly, when I'm thinking about it, it's more like a 3.25. So I should bump that down when I get a chance to 3 stars. But it's not bad. I think if I was watching this as a movie, I would like it better. This, I don't know. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but I didn't hate it. It was good. It wasn't great. That was about it. Um, and I'm glad I finally checked it off. There is a snippet of Vengeance, which is the second part of this in the back, and I'm like, that sounds like that's up my alley. But then that's what I thought about this. So yeah, I liked the characters. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and I think the beginning of this, more than any other Harry Potter book, really spotlights how fucked up the Dursleys are. Like, I get so pissed. And it's really only highlighted in these first 2 books, and then I think maybe the third one, after so many years watching the movies and having read all of these books so long ago, but maybe like 10 years ago, I think I get mixed up with what happens with the smaller plot lines. But oh my god, I hate these people. They're so fucking annoying. That being said, I love the Weasleys. Weasleys on the other side of things. The parents. I mean, the family is great. Fred and George, love them. So still my faves. But yeah, um, that's all I have to say. I didn't get to do anything with my altar, mostly because I don't know. This week this didn't go well as planned. I'm gonna stop this vlog now at this kind of lukewarm ending and say that thank you once again to Rhiannon for rowing the Witchathon. I will see you guys in the wrap-up video where I talk about all the books I've read. I'm going to say and include that I've read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, so fair warning. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and hit the little bell notification button so you know when I post that wrap-up video. Thank you. Bye.